And after Chris Osgood shut down the Jets over the first 2 games, it will be Mike Vernon appearing in his 100th career playoff game. He's undefeated in his last 9 over this regular season. And for the Winnipeg Jets, 23-year-old Nikolai Khabibulin, their best player so far in the series, despite the 2 losses. Khabibulin finished 6 games over 500 during the regular season. Our officials, Mark Fawcett, who worked this year's All-Star game, is the referee. The linesman, Kevin Collins and Leon Stickle. The Detroit Red Wings, who set the National Hockey League record with 62 regular season victories. They won the President's Trophy for the 2nd consecutive season. They took game 1 at Joe Louis Arena by the score of 4-1. And then on Friday night, shut out the Jets 4-0.
And Scotty Bowman just says, we don't want to get involved with what the Winnipeg Jets need to do. We just want to worry about what we have to do. That's the way the Red Wings went about their season, a record-setting season in which they won 62 games. Of course, the last team to win just about that many was a Scotty Bowman team in Montreal back in 76-77. They won 60 games and held the record. This building today, as you can see, there isn't a handful of people in here that have got anything on but white. It's a sea of white in the Winnipeg Arena. They've been sold out for over a month. And the story, Ken, now well documented. The Winnipeg Jets franchise moving to Phoenix next year. So they're looking at this and saying, today, game 3, we're down by 2. This may be our last hurrah. We can't afford to go down 3 to the best team in hockey this year. And they want to enjoy every moment the Winnipeg team has left before this season ends.
The reason for the delay, we await the return of all the lights up top. They had turned out all the lights here at the Winnipeg Arena during the pregame ceremonies and the national anthem. And they've taken a couple of moments to come back on. Chris Osgood, outstanding the first 2 games, faced only 30 shots, allowed 1 goal. Sitting out this afternoon's game as a precautionary measure, suffering from a minor abdominal strain. It bothered Osgood in practice yesterday. So Mike Vernon gets the start. 2 lineup changes for Detroit. Mark Bergevin replaces Bob Rouse, and Dino Ciccarelli returns from his suspension. Kirk Maltby sits out game 3. And we are set for the opening faceoff. Craig Janney for the Jets against former Winnipeg Jet Chris Draper. Dave Mэнson shoots in for Winnipeg. Vernon around the boards. Taylor hit by Olchik. Nicholas Lidstrom from behind the Red Wing net. Up on the left wing, and Taylor is stepped into by Mэнson. Jets blowing their weight around in the opening shift. And Taylor was shaken up. Went immediately off to the Red Wings bench following the hit by Mэнson. Back behind the Red Wing net, it's Lidstrom once again. Darren McCarty on the right wing. Pass broken up by Craig Janney. Opening minute, first period from the Winnipeg Arena, game 3. Red Wings lead the series 2-0. Alexei Jamnov, who scored the Jets' only goal in the series. Finley around to Teppo Numminen. And he shoots all the way down, icing waved off as Vernon plays it. Fetisov bothered by Jamnov. Red Wings unable to clear out. Konstantinov up the boards to Ciccarelli. Sergei Fedorov. Here's Fetisov across the Winnipeg line. Fedorov bottled up by Dallas Drake. Fedorov got the stick up. And Fawcett's right arm up in the air as well. Penalty upcoming on the Red Wings.
Well, the Jets will get the first power play of this hockey game. Sergei Fedorov got the stick up on Dallas Drake. To the right of Khabibulin in the Winnipeg zone. Drake just harassing number 91. And he retaliates and got caught. No question about what Mark Fawcett saw on the play. And the Jets go to the extra man. I mean, Kenny, this this hockey game, this situation, Red Wings up by 2. For the Winnipeg Jets, it's almost imperative that they score the first goal in this game. They've got all the support they're ever going to get right here in this building. Mэнson with a crunching check on Tim Taylor right out of the gate in the first shift. And if they go down early, it might take the steam out of a lot of this situation. So the Jets are going to do their very best to try to get the lead in this game and keep that momentum going.
Jets only 30 shots the first 2 games combined, and their last regular season meeting with Detroit held to 14 despite their season average of 29.4. So the Jets have to shoot more, and they want to crash the net as well. Norm McIver with the wrist shot. It's gloved by Vernon.
Well, the Red Wing penalty killing has been almost perfect all year long. They're #1 in the National Hockey League in that department. And they're one of the fewest penalized teams in the NHL this year. But the Jets just have not been able to, even on their power plays in games 1 and 2, able to generate good quality scoring chances. Maybe they've had 10 or 12 out of the 30 shots on goal through 2 games.
Here's Norm McIver on the left point through a screen. Jenny setting up in front. And now the Red Wings skated out. Bob Airy fires down on goal. Tkachak for the Winnipeg Jets. 20 power play goals during the season. Second in the National Hockey League. He's on now along with Craig Jenny and Alexei Jamnov. Offsides on Winnipeg.
Just to finish that thought on the quality chances for the Jets, or the fewest number, a hockey team likes to get anywhere between 15 and 20 in a game. The Red Wings the other night figured they had about 20 in game 2, where the Jets had maybe 5 or 6. And so obviously when you only get 10 in 120 minutes of hockey, you're way below the average. And it's tough enough to play this game when you're getting your normal chances to try to beat those goaltenders, let alone when you're only generating a few quality opportunities in a game.
40 seconds gone on the Fedorov high stick. Jamnov in the far corner. Behind the net for Jenny. Here's Jamnov again. Bothered by Lidstrom. Yzerman over as well. And Steve Yzerman taps the puck out to center. Midway through the Jets' first power play of the afternoon. 2.5 gone. First period. Tverdovsky across to Norm McIver. Tverdovsky, the former Anaheim Mighty Duck, shoots in. Jenny chasing far corner. Met by Primo. Kept in nicely by Mэнson on the right point. Around the boards, and the Red Wings clear out once again as Konstantinov shoots the length of the ice. 25 seconds remaining on the Winnipeg power play. Stapleton sends near corner. And once again, the Red Wings clear down. Draper all over Tverdovsky. Draper works it free, kills off the remaining seconds. Jets pinned deep in their own end. Fedorov out of the box. Igor Korolov on the left wing. Red Wings out shooting the Jets 2-1. We've played nearly 4 minutes. Paul Coffey across the Winnipeg line. Dino Ciccarelli is stopped by Bobby Bolin. Best scoring opportunity so far for the Red Wings. Back from Winnipeg in a moment.
Stanley Cup playoffs. No place for a nervous person, boy. Vladimir Konstantinov. Boom, he gets nailed by young Chad Kilger and Mike Stapleton.
14 hits by the Jets so far. We've played 11.5 minutes. No score. Fedorov moves to center. Shoots in. Hard bounce off the boards. Played by Mэнson. Red Wings lead the series 2-0. Puck deflects over the glass. Scotty Bowman coaching at his 247th career playoff game. That's more than 3 full seasons of playoff games alone.
Winningest coach in the game. He's been around a long, long time.
Hoping to earn ring number 8 as the Jets shoot down. Jamnov back behind the net for Craig. And now Fetisov skates it out for the Red Wings. Here's Kozlov. Fedorov into the Winnipeg zone. Wrist shot. Flex over the net. And Mэнson starts back the other way. Kicked in by Larionov. Kозlov pressed by MacIver. Fedorov and Mэнson come together. Loose puck. Back behind the Winnipeg goal. Fedorov centers one. Here's Konstantinov's shot, and the shoulder save is made by Howie Bullen.
Mэнson just stuck his stick in the face of Kозlov. That was a very dangerous play, and he got caught by Fawcett as Konstantinov was taking the shot, Kenny. Very dangerous play. Now the Jets are going to be short-handed here. Let's take a look. See if we can pick it up. Konstantinov got the scoring chance. There's Mэнson with a pop on Kозlov at that point. After that, he got the blade of his stick up dangerously close to Kozlov's eyes. And he got caught by referee Fawcett. There's the first hit, a whack to the side of the head. And the second one just out of our camera eyes. So the Red Wings get their first power play opportunity here. 12 minutes and 27 seconds in. A scoreless hockey game.
And there's Dave Mänson in the penalty box. 2 minutes for high sticking. Red Wings 2 of 11. 2 of 14, check that, in the series on the power play. And they've also scored 2 shorthanded goals. So they've outscored the Jets 4-0 on special teams. Keith Primo with Steve Yzerman and Greg Johnson, Paul Coffey and Nicholas Lidstrom on the points. Red Wings control the draw. Yzerman spins it to the corner. Primo comes together with Muni. Here's Coffey holding it on the point. Across to Lidstrom. Drake knocks it down and clears. Quick change by the Jets, sending on 2 new penalty-killing forwards. Jamnov and Korolov, best friends since age 10. Lidstrom sends in behind the goal. Tverdovsky intercepts and clears all the way down. 45 seconds gone on the Mänson penalty. No score. First period from Winnipeg. Greg Johnson shooting in. Newman back for the Jets. Finley backhands out. With 1 minute remaining on the penalty. Teppo Newman shoots the length of the ice. Now Fedorov with Larionov and Cicerelli. Off the stick of Larionov. Howie Bullen puts the glance down.
Now, Wings do not like to shoot the puck in if they can help it. They prefer to carry it with their skill. Skill players like Larionov. And this time, so far, the Jets have shut it down at the blue line and not allowed them really to enter with possession and control. And now there's only 37 seconds left in this 2-minute minor penalty. With the face-off to the left of Nikolai Habibulin.
Dino Cicerelli, you mentioned the suspension. He comes back today. Last year, Mickey, in the playoffs, Cicerelli also missed the first 2 games due to an injury. Came back in game 3 and scored a hat trick against the Dallas Stars.
Now, if they do get possession and control inside the Winnipeg zone, that little guy, Cicerelli, will go straight to the front of the net and get in the face of the goaltender. That's his office in there.
Konstantinov on the right point, shoots through a screen, it goes wide. And there's Cicerelli in front, as Mickey just mentioned. Larionov, back to Konstantinov. And Howie Bullen extending across the goal line, keeps it out. Inches away from a Red Wings power play goal. Fedorov back in. Larionov sets up right wing boards. Sergei Fedorov. Konstantinov shot blocked by Stapleton. Penalty is over as Tkachuk pushes ahead. Mэнson just out of the box. Centers, but nobody there. Both teams now 0 for 1 with the man advantage. 5:15 to go. Period number 1. Coffey back for the Red Wings, bothered by Eastwood. Coffey leading the rush. Coffey shoots, and the save is made. 11 Red Wing shots, 11 saves for Nikolai Khabibulin. Eastwood in deep. That's by Coffey. Bergevin tripped up by Doan. Play continues. Doan sends back behind the goal. Coffey is on it there. Doug Brown with 4:20 to go in the first. Across to Paul Coffey. Eiserman into the jet zone. Followed up by the combination of Mэнson and McIver. Here comes Tkachuk with Jenny and Olchik. Tkachuk chases down. Olchik behind the net. Jenny in front. Tkachuk scores!
The key to this play was Tkachuk getting into the corner before the Red Wing defenders to keep the Jets' control. Even though Detroit was back there to cover, Tkachuk got his stick loose from Rэмzi, and a range angle shot got over top of Mike Vernon on the short side. There's 5 Red Wings in the area, but Tkachuk gets the stick loose and makes it 1-0 Jets.
The crowd continues to go wild here in Winnipeg as the Jets score first for the second time in the series so far. They open the scoring in game 1. Tkachuk's 8th career playoff goal, first this year from Jenny and Olchik at 16:03. Here's Kilgер on the right wing, moving in through the crease. And the Red Wings clear out. 3.5 to go in this first period. Detroit out shooting Winnipeg 12-5. At the Jets strike first. And the crowd now with the sarcastic chant of Vernon, Vernon.
Get anything they can here. What's happened in the first 2 games.
Here's Larionov sweeping in and then shot it wide. Remember, Vernon has faced Winnipeg in the playoffs before. A total of 8 games with Calgary. Jamnov out at the right point. Wrist shot. Vernon got the blocker down. Korlev behind the Red Wing goal. Looks to move it in front. Held up by Fetisov. Break over as well. Korlev works at 3. Korlev to Jamnov. And the save is made. Vernon looked behind him. Korlev with the lead for Jamnov. Moving it on Coffey. Now Coffey quickly to center. Olchik swings it ahead. Coffey flips back. Draper's drop pass was behind Fedorov. Here's Tkachuk. Fedorov back for the Red Wings. Minute 45 to go, first period. Tkachuk chips it ahead. Janney shoots. The save is made, but a Red Wing penalty will be called. An elbow indicated by the referee, Mark Fawcett. So the Jets will go to the power play when we return, leading 1-0.
Jets will go back to the power play. Minute 38 to go in the first period. Jets lead it by 1. There's the hit on Tkachuk. Fawcett saw an elbow up high. He didn't get him in the face with it. He got him on the shoulder. And Bergevin not happy with that call, shaking his head. Just a good clean check, he thought, that didn't catch number 7 up in the face area, but the Jets will take it deep in the Red Wing zone.
Elbowing on Bergevin, 18:22 the time, as Bob Erie clears the zone. Jets 0 for 12 in the series on the power play. They have Jamnov, Tkachuk, and Craig Janney. Here's Tkachuk into the Red Wing zone. Janney looks in front, deflected just wide. Now Jamnov back behind the net for Janney. Net by Lidstrom. Kept alive by the pitching Newman. McIver setting up on the left point. Newman in shot, Vernon the save, and he hangs on with Janney and Tkachuk on the doorstep.
Jets don't get anybody directly in front of Mike Vernon, so he can see the shot all the way from the blue line, 55, 60 feet out. Janney went to the side. He may have distracted Vernon for a split second, but he doesn't stay in front of him to block his view. And that's what a goaltender wants. You got to get right in front of their face and have the puck coming at you, so he's got to be out around your body searching for it to throw him off his position.
Manson's shot is blocked. Brown. Here's Fedorov moving in shorthanded. And a brilliant defensive play by Tverdovsky, matching Fedorov stride for stride.
Well, he did it without taking a penalty. That's the key to that play. And the youngster Tverdovsky, who's been burned a couple of times in the first 2 games, especially by Paul Coffey in game 2. He's a good skater, this youngster, and it's a good thing he is, because Fedorov's one of the quickest in the league. He's still got a pretty good scoring chance. A backhand flip, Hobby Bullet needed to be sharp again. Red Wings with 13 shots on goal here with 48.6 seconds to go in the first. The Jets with 9, but they lead it 1-0.
And there is Oleg Tverdovsky on the Jets bench. The Jets leading the Wings 1-0.
That scoring chance by Fedorov, even shorthanded, no strange thing to Detroit. They've already got 2 shorthanded goals in this series, both in game 2. They look to go offensively even while shorthanded.
Under 40 seconds to go in the period. Newman in, pass just ahead of Janney. Janney looking for Tkachuk, it deflects behind the net. There's Janney setting up in his favorite spot once again, met by Coffey. Jamnov to McIver. Off the stick of Janney. 15 seconds to go. Newman in deep. Janney and Vernon intercepts before Tkachuk to get the stick down.
I'll tell you what, Craig Janney's really upset with himself. That was a great pass by McIver back at the left blue line, and if he handles the pass cleanly, it's 2-0 without question. And Janney knows it too. Those are the breaks of the game that you just can't control. And he's a goal scorer and a playmaker, and he knows exactly what happened. 2 Jets in front. Look at Janney all alone to the left of Vernon, and he mishandles the puck. Just a bad break for Craig Janney, or he'll make it 2-0 for Winnipeg. Now just 7.7 seconds left in the first period.
Janney has never missed the playoffs during his National Hockey League career with the Bruins, the Blues, the Sharks, and now the Winnipeg Jets coming over during the latter portion of this 95-96 season. Final seconds, first period. Jamnov shoots it about 20 feet too high. It deflects up. Now just 3.5 seconds remaining.
Hockey people talk continuously about the importance of face-offs, and these are the kind that you don't like to see your team lose. In your own zone, just a few seconds left. That shot deflected up by a Red Wing defender who got quickly onto Jamnov, but boy, they have to bear down all the time in those face-offs, especially deep in your own zone.
Now Olchik and Draper on the draw. Here's Mэнson. Shot was blocked, and that will do it for this first period. Crowd on their feet here in Winnipeg, cheering on their Jets, who are outshot by Detroit 13-9. But Keith Tkachuk with the lone goal. Kenny Albert, Mickey Redmond back in Winnipeg, where the Jets lead the Red Wings after one period, 1-0. Our first period statistics are brought to you by Bud Ice.
Well, the big thing you look at the stats, Kenny, is the Winnipeg Jets only get 2 penalty minutes. They certainly were disciplined in the period. Dave Manson, the only penalty. They gave themselves a chance. And look at the quality chances, 8-7. So they certainly generated more offense in the first 20 minutes than they did in all 120 minutes in Detroit in games 1 and 2. The only goal of the hockey game. Watch the dump in here by number 7, Tkachuk. He speeds into the corner, beats the Detroit defenders. He gets through. And watch the play this kid makes coming out. Mike Rэмzi there, takes him in the corner. As they come off, Detroit surrounds Mike Vernon, supports really well. Hold it right there, guys. Right on top left, a hold of the stick of Rэмzi has Tkachuk. As the play develops and they come back around the net, then Tkachuk is going to drive to the net, let Rэмzi's stick go, get his on the ice, and score the goal. Look at that right there. Boom, the play, bingo, top corner, and it's 1-0 Jets. So a good play by Tkachuk. He snuck it in, got away with it, and the Jets go out of here leading 1-0.
Tkachuk from Johnny and Olchik at 16:03.
Dino Ciccarelli, we talked at the top of the show. He'll be in his office in front of the net. Here's Finley for the Jets on defense. Look at Ciccarelli, boom. He's drawing attention from everybody. Look at him, loses that glove. Almost creates a scoring chance. And you're going to see more of that if the Red Wings have the power play. Little Dino, 5'10", 175 pounds. Plays much bigger than that in front of the opposition net as we get set for period number 2.
And still 21 seconds remaining on the Bergevin penalty. Thinking the Jets have now outscored the Red Wings in the first period so far in the series, 2-1.
Yeah.
But the problem the Jets have had is consistency, doing it for 60 minutes, not just 20 or 40.
That's exactly right. They were perfect for 40 minutes in Detroit. They led that one 1-0. Look out here.
Here's Tkachuk again, and a shoulder save is made by Vernon. Jets breaking in just off the faceoff. Game 3 of the Western Conference quarterfinals. Winnipeg leading Detroit 1-0. Bergevin out of the box. So Winnipeg now 0 for 2 with the man advantage. Bob Erie comes to center. Moving in 1-on-2. Flips in. Jenny is back for Winnipeg. Quick line change by the Red Wings. Newman shooting down ice. Right side of Vernon. Batisov to Kozlov on the left wing. Kozlov moving in, slides it across, and a good play by Finley, keeping the puck away from Larionov. Here's Jamnov back the other way, through a screen, and Vernon makes the stop. Jamnov using Batisov as the screen. Kozlov quickly back the other way. Kozlov looks to split the defense. Khabibulin knocks it away, and then Jamnov nearly put it in his own goal, hit off the outside of the goalpost. Quick start to the second period. Fedorov right into the Jets logo on the jersey of Khabibulin. So the Blackhawks have only allowed 1 goal so far. They shut out the Flames in game 2, and it looks like they will go ahead 3-0.
Unbelievable. They did not beat the Calgary Flames all season long, Chicago, and they've been primed up. They're in 3rd spot in the conference grid, if you will. And as a look at all the rest of the series, the Blues and the Leafs, the only game tonight, tied at 1. And Grant Fuhr skated today. Can you believe that? It was reported he's out for the year, but maybe not.
Shot by Konstantinov is stopped. Larianov on the rebound, bottled up. And Nick Kipriote of the Maple Leafs suspended 1 game. We'll get back to that as Jamnov loses an edge. Penalty upcoming. A hooking call. Another Jets power play when we return.
Jets will go to the power play. They just dump the puck across. Jamnov coming from this direction is in alone behind Kozlov, and Kozlov pulls him down. Right there is the hook, knocks him off his feet, and the Jets go back to the power play here early second period. It's uncharacteristic for the Red Wings to get caught, Kenny, with that many guys all together up at the opposition blue line with one of the guys behind them, like Jamnov snuck in there. They don't allow that very often with their defensive system.
4 shots on Winnipeg's first 2 power plays. Newman in. Stick save, Vernon. Fedorov spinning to center. Fedorov into the Winnipeg zone on the backhand. Remember, 2 shorthanded goals for the Red Wings in game 2. It outscored the Jets 2-0 on Winnipeg power play. Jamnov.
Defensive play there by Bergman. Oh, boy. That's a dandy.
Coffey held up by McIver. Here comes Johnny on the right wing. And by Bergevin. Bergevin saving what could have been the first Jets power play goal in the series. Instead it remains Winnipeg 1, Detroit 0. Just over a minute to go on the Kozlov penalty. Harry keeps it away from Tverdovsky. Here's Yzerman moving in, shoots it just wide. Konstantinov flips back behind the goal. McIver lugs the puck to center. Adams around the glass. And it's thrown ahead by Konstantinov. Now shot all the way down by Lidstrom. 25 seconds on the Winnipeg power play.
Konstantinov closed the hand on that puck and got away with it that time. Crowd hollering for a penalty.
Tverdovsky across the Red Wing line. Bottled up by Draper. Here come the Red Wings, led by Konstantinov. Draper fires off the side of the net. Winnipeg now 0 for 3 on the power play this afternoon. And a 2-line pass is called on the Jets. We'll be back from the Winnipeg Arena right after this.
"36-year-old Dino Ciccarelli, 16 years in the National Hockey League, and this is what he does best. Go to the front of the net. He almost tied the game for his team right in front of Hobby Bolin, and he does not go near that crease area or he's going to get slapped with that big goal stick. And it's a good thing Finley and Muni got there quickly to nullify the little guy, or he ties the game.
Now Primo behind the Winnipeg goal, out to Yzerman. Now Primo once again. McCarty looked to come out in front, knocked off the puck by Muni. Tverdovsky battling with Primo. Fetisov left circle shot on the screen, and Hobby Bolin kept it out. Now Konstantinov back in behind the net, away from the outstretched McCarty. Hobby Bolin decides to hang on with 12-12 remaining. Second period, Detroit out shooting Winnipeg 17-12. Jets with the lone goal.
Right there, Hobby Bolin made a much better stop than a lot of the fans might realize. He was screened on the play on a shot by Fetisov from the point, Kenny, and he never saw it. There's the drive, and it was Darren McCarty right in front of him. That shot hit him, and it was right on net, too. There's a wide-angle look at it. McCarty just wanted to lift that leg up and hope it missed Hobby Bolin.
The
Sometimes you don't have to have the hardest shot in the league, but just get it on net. That's exactly what the 38-year-old defenseman tried to do.
Now for the Red Wings, Chris Draper with Tim Taylor and Doug Brown. Coffey, left point, blocked by Stapleton. Pushed up, Brown shoots, blocked again by Stapleton, and the Jets clear down. Kilgers, Stapleton, and Chris King, the forward line for Winnipeg. Brown handing off to Coffey. Coffey centers, Stapleton got back. Pressed off the puck by Draper. Draper works it free. Brown down to his knees. Pushed by McIver. Bergevin keeps in, but now the Jets once again clear out. Coffey quickly back across. And the puck is pinned along the near boards. Jets leading the Wings 1-0. Kenny Albert, Mickey Redmond from the Winnipeg Arena. Red Wings lead the series 2-0, winning game 1 4-1, game 2 4-0. Here today it's the Jets 1 and the Red Wings 0 on the first period goal by Keith Tkachuk, who has the puck right now for Winnipeg. It was stripped. Lidstrom for Detroit, across to Mike Rэмzi. 11 minutes to go, second period. As the Red Wings shoot down ice, icing is waved off as Johnny plays it for the Jets. He and Tverdovsky with some miscommunication. Now Cicerelli in behind the Jets goal. Puck pushed along the boards. And it's chopped out by Eddie Olchik. Both teams make line changes. Bob Errey on the left wing. He won 2 Stanley Cups with Pittsburgh. Newman's pass intercepted by Errey. Errey motoring down the right wing. Drops it off for Primo. Looks to return it, but Newman got the stick on it and clears to center. Tisov up the left wing boards. Here's Kozlov. Wrist shot, left pad save by Javi Bullen, who stopped all 18 the Red Wing offerings. Konstantinov to Kozlov on the left wing. Once again, we see Primo with 4 of the 5 members of the Red Wings rushing unit. Here's the Jets contingent led by Jamnov. Break, back to Mэнson. In the slot, Jamnov. Kozlov to the ice, unable to clear out. McIver to Jamnov, and the shoulder save is made by Vernon. Break, muscled by Fetisov, who's able to steal. Mэнson pushes Kozlov to the boards. McIver back across. The fast-paced, hard-hitting action continues from Winnipeg. Aaron McCarty bumped by Shane Doan, who shoots right back down. Finally, the Red Wings get it back into the Jet zone as Konstantinov nearly fooled Javi Bullen.
That from center ice.
That would have been some turning point in this game.
Out here, McCarty's behind him.
Here's McCarty, comes in front. Johnson taken down by Doan.
Will it be a penalty? Will it be a penalty or penalty shot? It will be probably a holding or a tripping call. The Red Wings will go to the power play with 8:32 to go in the second. Red Wings go to the power play again. Here's the reason why. Mэнson lets McCarty in behind him. There's the Winnipeg defenseman. McCarty goes down low. Coming late is Greg Johnson. There he is. And he gets hauled down when the rebound goes right to him. Shane Doan hauls him down. Red Wing power play.
Holding call on Doan at 11:28. Third Detroit man advantage, 0 for 2 so far today. In the series, Detroit 2 of 16 as Newman of Winnipeg clears the length of the ice. Just over 8 minutes remaining, second period. Winnipeg Jets leading by the score of 1-0. Johnson into the Jet zone, shooting in. Bobby Bullen, who stopped all 20 Red Wing shots. Cicerelli bottled up by King. Chris King working the far boards, killing time, and now Stapleton clears the zone. Here's Finley softly dumping down ice. Vernon winds it out to center. It's played by Yzerman. Yzerman, Johnson, and Cicerelli, the Red Wings offensive unit. Craig Muni ahead to Alexei Jamnov. Jamnov into the Red Wing zone. Drops it off for King. Now Lidstrom turns it quickly back as Fedorov shoots in. Coffey, the first man there, shoots, and the blocker save is made. The rebound, McCarty goes wide. Larianov on the left point. One-timer by Fetisov, blocked by King. Comes to Larianov in the slot. Behind the net, centers, and Jamnov clears out. 15 seconds remaining on the Winnipeg penalty. Once again, the Red Wings bottled up at the blue line. Fedorov to Larianov on the right wing. Doan out of the box. McCarty to Fedorov. Wrist shot blocked by Muni. And the Jets clear down. Icing is waved off. Konstantinov and Tkachuk chase. Now Konstantinov to center. On the right wing, Primo. Quickly into the Winnipeg zone. Now Johnny is taken to the boards by Draper, who got the stick up on Craig. Play continues. No penalty called on the play. Rэмzi, and the glove saved by Bobby Bullen. Fans voiced their displeasure. They felt Draper got the stick up on Dallas Craig. Former Red Wing now playing for Winnipeg, and Draper, the ex-Jet, now with Detroit.
Well, keep your eye on number 11 and see if that stick did clip him or he was just trying to get the call. Well, it looks like it may have. The flat of the blade came up and just gave him a little tap. Yeah, it was a stick of Draper, 33, that may have come up and just touched Drake. It didn't look like anything serious. It was the flat of the blade, and usually it's the point that'll cause the damage.
Chris Draper spent 3 seasons in the Jets organization, played 20 games with Winnipeg, much of the other time in their minor league system, traded to the Red Wings for $1.
You know, he asked openly to everybody a couple of days ago, I wonder, did they ever collect the buck?
And was it U.S. or Canadian funds?
Yeah, right. That was a couple of years ago. Draper was 21, and well, he's been a key member of the Red Wings, boy. Tireless worker.
He scored a goal each of the first 2 games. Right here, Jets leading 1-0, 5:45 remaining, second period. Olchik shooting down, McCarty, hit by Shannon. Eastwood plays the puck for the Jets behind the Red Wing goal. Hustled by Bergevin, and Yzerman feeds Coffey at center. Primo and Mэнson, 2 big bodies come together, but the Red Wings in the zone too soon.
They're jawing at each other, and now McCarty has some words for Shannon, who hit him from behind, and he may be fortunate there was no penalty call, because that's the kind of thing they're trying to crack down on in the league, hitting from behind. And Primo and Mэнson continue with the chin music, with Kevin Collins, the unlucky guy in the middle, the 2 twin towers. Primo mishandles the puck. He knows Manson's there, and they have come together many other times in their careers.
Yeah, that could have been worse. Both got the gloves
up. That
was
a love tap compared to what goes on in this game most of the time, and Mänson still jawing at somebody.
Both teams really throwing their weight around. According to our numbers, Jets with 30 hits in the game. How about that? Friends of yours, Mickey?
You and me. Yeah, right. You better stay on the other side of the glass, big guy.
What'd you do with those 2 tickets you had? Now puck loose. Now the backhander by Doan off the side of the Detroit cage. Doan behind the net. Leaned on by Yzerman. Shannon back behind the goal. Eastwood and Yzerman come together. McCarty looks to clear. Could not. Kept in by Shannon. Around the boards. Primo got the glove up on Eastwood. And Keith Primo will head off. Winnipeg power play when we return. Elbowing penalty on Keith Primo.
Keith Primo gets the arm and the elbow up on Mike Eastwood right along the near boards. Mark Fawcett not far away to make the call. There it is, right there along the left side of the head. And Fawcett says that's enough, Mr. Primo. Jets power play.
15-16 the time. McIver, wrist shot and a glove save. Quick reflexes. Vernon snaring the shot from the point. McIver.
Mike Vernon, Kenny, excuse me. 13 shots. That may be the 14th if they get that on there in a second. He hasn't had a ton of shots here, much like Osgood, but boy, he's made some sparkling saves. 2 on Jamnov in this period, couple in the first period. And that one right there off the stick of McIver.
14 shots. Jets have now equaled their shot total from game 1. Just 2 shy of the 16 in game 2. Tkachuk in the far corner. Swings it out to the point. McIver. Right point, Newman. Jenny to the slot. Jamnov blocked by a sliding Rэмzi. And Brown clears down.
But Mike Rэмzi just continues to block shots like that. Sacrifice that body.
Half minute gone on the Primo penalty. Vernon could not play it. Now Bergevin sliding to the boards, and the Red Wings clear the zone. 4 minutes to go, second period, 1-0 Winnipeg. Took a tricky hop. Here's great firing off the arm of Vernon. And once again, the Red Wings clear. Moving into Jamnov for the right wing. Jenny over to help. Bergevin fires around, kept in by Mэнson. Now Yzerman. Ahead to Erie, now Coffey. Coffey killing time, now takes back into his own zone. 40 seconds on the Winnipeg power play, and Mэнson almost gave it away in front. Olchik backhands down on goal, and Vernon may look easy, but the puck was bouncing on him, and that forces the offensive zone faceoff for the Jets.
Dave Mэнson had about 15,000 hearts in their throats here a second ago with that puck off the side of the net. You know, the veteran Mike Rэмzi continues to throw that body of his in front of pucks, going at about 100 miles an hour in most cases. Just did it again there. Another reason why the Red Wings keep scoring chances down by the opposition.
I think Mike Rэмzi wants that Stanley Cup ring to go along with his 1980 gold medal.
You bet.
Lidstrom cutting wide on Tverdovsky. Ken Morrow and Neil Broughton both have Olympic gold medals and Stanley Cup rings from the 1980 squad. Mike Rэмzi hopes to be the third.
You know Rэмzi, he knows it's 16th year in the league.
Eddie Olchik hit the goalpost. Mэнson fires. Right of the save. Red Wings clear as Primo makes his return.
He's onside to boot.
Winnipeg with 4 shots during that power play, and they were inches away from a 2-goal lead. Larionov to Primo from a tough angle. Got off a good shot, and Howie Bullen was there. 2:15 to go. Larionov shoots it wide. Rэмzi pinching. Here's Primo. Battling with Newman. Sergei Fedorov rubbed off by Chris King. Larionov to the point. Fetisov looks to return it. King fires around. Under 2 minutes to go, second period. Jets continue to lead by a goal. Here's Coffey for Detroit. Close to it offsides. Chris King sends down ice, then heads to the bench. Both teams make player changes. 90 seconds remaining. Period number 2. Here comes Shannon. Eastwood fires wide. Sliding play by Muni to keep it in. Worked free by Cicerelli. Here comes Johnson on the right wing. Moving in on Muni. Johnson to the trailer. Off the stick of Cicerelli. Under a minute to go. Second period. 1-0 Winnipeg leading Detroit. Mэнson holds it on the right point. Shannon met by Konstantinov. Johnson comes away with a loose puck. Coffey leading the rush into the Winnipeg zone. Down low for Primo. Met by McIver. Cicerelli and Olchik come together. Half-minute remaining in the second. McIver takes Primo down. And Coffey in the near corner. Flips in front. Broken up by McIver. Here come the Jets, 2-on-1. Johnny with Tkachak. Johnny cuts in, but getting back to make the play was Konstantinov, not allowing the Winnipeg shot. And now the Red Wings are called for icing. 3.9 seconds remaining in the second period.
My, what action from end to end. Now it looks like 3.9 to go, and Simpson will not pull Hobby Bullet. Just a little bit too much time on the clock. Less than 3 seconds, they'll usually pull him out of there with a face-off deep in the other zone. But we've got an exact scenario repeated from game 1 where the Jets led 1-0 at Joe Louis Arena. It looks like they'll go into the second intermission here. It'll be Yzerman and Olchik. And of course, communication, the name of the game. That's what they're talking about down there. Everybody taking a man.
In game 1, as Jamnov fires, it's blocked, and that will do it. In that opening game, the Red Wings came out, scored 3 goals in the first 5 minutes of the third period after trailing 1-0. Detroit out shooting Winnipeg 23-18, but the score after 2, the Winnipeg Jets 1, the Detroit Red Wings 0. We'll be back from the Winnipeg Arena right after this. Kenny Albert, Mickey Redmond from Winnipeg, where the Jets lead the Red Wings 1-0. A look now at our Bud Ice statistics with Detroit out shooting Winnipeg 23-18, 10-9 in the second period.
Only 6 minutes in penalties for the Jets. They averaged 14 per game in the first 2 games. And look at those scoring chances, the quality scoring chances. Detroit 17 of 23 shots, and the Jets with 13 of 18. Now, it doesn't have to be a shot on goal, I'll tell you, either, to be a quality scoring chance. You can miss the net, still have it. The Jets had a couple of odd man rushes that were broken up nicely by the Red Wing defense.
Red Wings lost in the Stanley Cup Finals a year ago. Head coach Scotty Bowman looking to become the first coach to win the Stanley Cup behind the bench of 3 different hockey teams: Montreal, Pittsburgh, and hopefully for Scotty Bowman now with Detroit.
One of those rings with Pittsburgh, he was player personnel. The other one, he was directly behind the bench. And of course, the big years with the Canadiens. They have won 24 Stanley Cups, the Montreal team.
And for Scotty Bowman, this the 7th time his club has finished first overall during the regular season. What do you think Scotty Bowman told the troops in between periods 2 and 3?
I would think, Kenny, that he's saying, boys, the way we played the last 10 minutes, just keep it going that way, because it seemed they were coming more at the Winnipeg Jets with regularity, turning up the offense just a little bit. And the Jets, of course, know that the Red Wings are a very, very talented team, and there's only one thought in their mind, and that is, can we just hold that offense down for a full 60 minutes? This is the second time in 3 games they've held it down for 40, and that's the big question with 20 to go. Can we keep it going for a full 60 now at the start of the third period?
In game 1 in Detroit, Jets led 1-0. They would score 3 goals in the first 4 minutes, 21 seconds of the third, and went on to win that game 4-1. In this third period, Mike Vernon defends the goal to our left, and Nikolai Khabibulin to our right. 23 saves for Khabibulin. Here's Erie. Took a hit from Mэнson. Shane Doan behind the Winnipeg goal, nearly lost it, and Khabibulin hangs on. Then Erie went flying over the Jets goaltender.
Erie did a pretty good job to convince everybody, including Cossette, that he was making every effort not to fall on the goaltender or interfere with him and try to hurt him in any way. Of course, the news this morning, Kenny, on the NHL, Nick Kypreos of the Leafs was suspended 1 game for running into Grant Fuhr, and Grant Fuhr, we were told, skated this morning, if you can believe that, in St. Louis. Draper's played a ton, Brown and Erie both. These guys are all small guys, all quick of foot. And they're antagonizers, boy. They forecheck, speed the key.
Now Coffey shoots on the screen, but still loose in the slot. Clearing up the boards, Bergevin holds in. Erie chasing far corner. And now Tkachuk up with the loose puck, could not clear. Erie keeps it alive. McIver flips to center. Opening minute, third period. From Winnipeg's sellout crowd, 15,544. Tkachuk up the boards, held in again by Bergevin. Johnson spins it in front. Cicerelli back to Coffey. His shot was blocked. Jets back 3-on-2. Jenney, his pass intercepted by Coffey as he looked to lead Tkachuk. Red Wings in the midst of a change. Cicerelli hit to the boards by Tkachuk. Both get their gloves up in each other's faces.
Game's still going on here.
Yeah, they're still going at it in front of the Jets bench. Fetisov took a hit at the point, could not hold in. Here's Jamnov. Jamnov got the shot off despite Konstantinov leaning all over him from behind. Finley sends in deep. Fetisov up the boards. Jamnov eludes the Primo check. Now Konstantinov clears onto the stick of Yzerman. Fetisov across the Jets line. Cuts behind the net, centers. Sliding play by Muni. Primo away from Yzerman. Finley throws down with just over 2 minutes gone in the third period. Keith Tkachuk, the lone goal scorer, late first period. Mike Rэмzi, his pass away from Larionov, who's held off by Muni. Kozlov plays it for the Wings in front, rolled up the stick of Khabibulin. Kozlov to the far corner. Lariano fires and scores! The Red Wings have tied the game at 1.
Right up the middle came Larionov, and nobody there for the Jets as they were preoccupied with Kozlov and number 91 Sergei Fedorov, and the veteran Larionov allowed to cruise right down the middle, and he got some mustard on the slap shot that got between the legs of Khabibulin to tie this hockey game at 1. Korolov got there just a split second late. 2 minutes and 39 seconds into the third period. Now the Red Wings, Kenny, in game 1 scored 3 goals in 2 minutes and 21 seconds after Draper had snuck one in on Khabibulin.
Draper's goal in game 1, which tied the score, came at 2:27 of the third period. This goal scored 12 seconds later at 2:39.
Amazing.
The Red Wings finally score on their 25th shot against Nikolai Khabibulin. Larionov's 12th career playoff goal, second of this series from Kozlov and Rэмzi. 2:39 the time. And we are tied at 1. Crowd stays in it despite the Red Wing goal, reacting to the big hits back in the Detroit zone. Red Wings looking for more. Their second goal in game 1 came at 4:06, just a minute and a half after they tied it. And the Jets talked throughout the last couple of days about playing a complete 60-minute game, not just 40, as they did in game 1. Now at offsides. Olchik still in the Red Wing zone. 3.5 gone by. Third period, 1-1 score from the Winnipeg Arena. Mickey, now the Red Wings have gone 41 years without a Stanley Cup. How about the city of Winnipeg? The Victorias winning in 1896 and 1901. So it's been 95 years since a Stanley Cup in Winnipeg. Manson's drive goes wide, comes out to the left point for McIver. Now Yzerman clears the zone. Do you remember the Winnipeg Victorias?
I don't think so. 1901, 95 years ago.
Oh, McCarty went sliding head first into the boards. Play continues. He and McIver battle.
Let's go!
Yzerman held off by Manson. Coffey sends behind the net, picked up by Primo, moves in. What a stop by Hobby Mullen.
Oh my.
Unbelievable save. Mickey, I looked up at the clock. That goal would have been scored at precisely the same time Detroit scored their second goal in game 1, 4:06.
Out here, Eastwood's away.
Eastwood across. Tkachak could not get the stick on it. The parallels to game 1, incredible. Winnipeg scoring in the first period. Detroit 2.5 minutes into the third, and then nearly take the 2-1 lead at the same time. Now Shannon shooting in. 5 minutes gone. Third period tied at 1 in game 3 from Winnipeg. Shannon over on the left wing. Tim Taylor is back for the Red Wings. Handing off to Konstantinov. Jamnov.
Got away with an interference there. Jamnov. Draper didn't touch the puck. Fawcett said, no, I'm not going to call it. That's a message to both teams.
Here's Larionov back across. Kozlov. Backhand shot. Goes wide. Looks to go short side on Hobby Bullen. Wound around by Drake to Korolov. Jamnov pressed by Konstantinov. And the Jets have iced the puck.
Now Detroit continues to pour it on offensively. And Hobby Bullen has stopped everything but Igor Llarionov early third period here. He's played about as well as he can play, Ken, in this series. Keith Primo just had the best scoring chance of this series, I'm going to tell you, without scoring. Look at that stop by Hobby Bullen. You got 2/3 of that net wide open, and Primo unable to get it up. Coming out of the corner, Hobby Bullen got the right pad on it, hit the back of the net. Just a bad break for the Jets, but boy, oh boy. That is a huge save. Put that one in the bank with a 1-1 game here and 14:23 left in the third.
And the face-off in the Jet zone. Fedorov and Jamnov. Jets win it. Finley backhands up the boards to Dallas Drake. Cross ice. Tapped along. Here's Newman. Jamnov to Finley leading the rush. Backhands down. Tisov for the Red Wings to Kozlov. All 5 Russians together now on the ice for the Detroit Red Wings. Fedorov with Larionov and Kozlov. Tisov and Konstantinov on the back line.
Boy, Fawcett put the whistle away completely. He might have with 13:40 left here. It looks like he's going to call it unless it's a real blatant foul.
Mэнson sends down for the Jets. Both teams make line changes. 13:30 to go. Third period tied at 1 on goals from Tkachak and Larionov. Barbieri on the left wing. Looks to flip out. Could not. Held in by Gianni. Konstantinov to Cicerelli. Here's Coffey. Glides along the blue line, and that is intercepted by Olchik, who got back. Shots 26-18 in favor of Detroit. Gianni bottled up by Cicerelli. Tkachuk shoots down. Olchik centers. Gianni held off by the back-checking Greg Johnson. Johnson back the other way across the Winnipeg line. Cicerelli fires one. It's blocked. Comes in front. Still loose and lifted away by Shane Doan. 12.5 to go. Nicholas Lidstrom for the Red Wings. Cicerelli across to Primo. Primo motoring down the right wing. Takes behind and then is hit by Numminen. Teppo Numminen clears down ice.
What a collision, Cicerelli and Doan. And there's going to be a penalty, I believe, to Detroit. Or is it Doan? Can't tell with the way Fawcett is. Oh, it's going against Doan. He's going to complain big time that he got whacked by Cicerelli. And that should have been the penalty call. We'll see when we come back. Detroit power play, 1-1 game. Shane Doan goes for the box. His argument, Cicerelli elbowed me. I'm not so sure that anybody elbowed anybody, but Doan goes to the box and the Red Wings to the power play. They're 0 for 3.
Elbowing call, 7:55. Doan's second minor penalty of the afternoon. So each team now with 4 power plays. This is the Red Wings' 4th. Both goals have been scored at even strength. Fedorov with Larionov and Cicerelli, Coffey, and Lidstrom. Korolov works it away from Cicerelli, could not clear out. Fedorov double teamed, and again Korolov could not clear. Fedorov, top of the right wing circle. Fedorov leaves it for Larionov. Cicerelli setting up in front. Fedorov continues to hold. Fedorov now in deep. Out to the point. Lidstrom. Wrist shot. And the blocker save by Javi Bolin.
I don't know if he saw that one either, Kenny. Dino Cicerelli again doing an excellent job in the crease area right in front. Screened him.
Lidstrom whacked that by Korolov. Fedorov spins it out to the point. Coffey could not hold in. We approach a half minute to go on the power play. Dave Mänson fires down ice. 10.5 to go. Third period tied at 1. Doan will return in 18 seconds. Here's Yzerman. Cuts around Muni. Drops it off for Primo. Now Johnson fires wide. Primo back to the point. Fetisov. Now Konstantinov's shot is blocked. King got a piece of it. And it deflects into the stands. So the Flames, who had been outscored 12-1 by the Blackhawks until they netted their first goal, have pulled within 1.
Now Cicerelli on that Detroit power play. Only 5 seconds left. Right on the edge of the crease. Finley whacking him in the back of the head. A punch, a slash, a cross check, a hook. And a great stop there by Javi Bolin to keep this game 1-1.
Now Primo wins the draw from Tkachuk. Konstantinov, wrist shot, another screen, and Javi Bolin stops it. Doan out of the box. Here's Tkachuk. Doan backhands in behind Vernon's goal. Under 10 minutes to go. Third period. Tkachuk opening the scoring for the Jets in the first. Larionov here in the third. 1-1 score. Red Wings lead the series 2-0. There's McCarty on the right wing. Firing down. Primo takes behind the net. Leaned on by Tkachuk. Primo for Yzerman. Shoots it just wide. Rэмzi holds it on the left point. There's McIver into the Red Wings zone, in front, and Vernon got a piece of it. Here's Mэнson shooting wide, comes around to McIver. Mickey, the Jets without an official shot on goal this entire third period.
And Detroit pressing offensively again, inside 9 minutes now.
Detroit with 4 shots. Here's Yzerman across, and it deflects out of play. 8:50 remaining in the third. 1-1 score from Winnipeg. Kenny Albert, Mickey Redmond from Winnipeg, where the Red Wings and the Jets are tied at 1. 8:45 to go. Here's Tim Taylor coming out in front. McGowan turned him aside. Chris King for the Jets flipping in. They credited the Jets with a shot on that last shift, so only 1 shot this entire period. In fact, 1 the last 14 minutes, including the latter portion of the second. Craig Muni centers the shot, score! Chad Killger in his first career playoff game beats Vernon, and the Jets lead 2-1.
You got one happy youngster in Chad Killger, first ever playoff goal. Credit Craig Muni with a very intelligent play. He backhands it back out in front of the net right there. Boom. What a shot by Killger. He leaned on it and beat Vernon low to the glove side. But Muni made a very, very intelligent play to go back out in front of the net with the puck. And Detroit was all looking for Muni, and behind the net, boom, nobody there but Killger. And he makes it 2-1 Winnipeg, and this place erupts. Killger snuck in the back door behind Doug Brown, came out of nowhere, and Muni just dumped it out there, hoping somebody in white was there, and he was.
Chad Killger scored 7 goals during the regular season, came over with Oleg Tverdovsky.
And this is first playoff game. He missed the first 2. He was scratched. The coach is scratched. The first 2 in Detroit.
Replacing Ian Fraser in the Jets lineup today. He was the 4th pick in last year's draft, and he has given Winnipeg the 2-1 lead. He's the son of longtime NHL referee Bob Killger.
This place just will not settle down. My, oh my.
11:40, the time of the goal. Craig Muni and Chris King assist. Muni set it up. Mickey, this is his 102nd career playoff game. He's won 3 Stanley Cup rings with Edmonton. He's never scored a goal in the playoffs.
You won't find him down in that position behind the net very often either.
No, he has never scored a playoff goal. 102 games, but he sets up Killger.
Now, the word that usually follows Killger around right now is potential, and that goal right there is going to go a long way to people saying maybe the potential is there, and it's realized right now.
At the conclusion of today's game, Mickey and I will select the new Dodge player of the game. Chad Killger certainly a candidate, giving the Jets the lead. Nikolai Habibulin stopping 28 of 29 Red Wings shots so far. 8:13 to go. First time the Jets have scored 2 goals in a game in this series. They've won their last 3 home games during the regular season. And remember, during the regular season against Detroit, Winnipeg with a win, a loss, and a tie. So 3 of the possible 6 points. They defeated the Red Wings twice, only team to do so during this 95-96 season. Here's Lidstrom on the right point. Sends in deep. Mэнson and Cicerelli battle. Shot up the boards, out to center by Olchik. Winnipeg, the 8th seed in the West. Maybe given the Red Wings, when you look at the first two periods of Game 1 and now Game 3, more trouble than Detroit expected?
I don't think so, Kenny. The Red Wings respect the Winnipeg Jets, whether they were 8th seed or not. They knew it was going to be tough coming into this building with this crowd behind them. The Red Wings will just keep pressing out, trying to turn it up offensively and hope to get something else by Hobby Bullen. He's been outstanding again today.
Now, they were the number 8 seed, but had they won their last regular season game against Anaheim, they would have been number 4. Big hit by Jamnov, knocking the helmet off Konstantinov. Now here comes Larionov, but play is stopped. Offside call. We couldn't even hear the whistle.
Alexei Jamnov and Vladimir Konstantinov, old buddies from Russia. No friends when the game starts and the puck's dropped.
Now here's Jamnov on the steal. Taken down by Fetisov, no call. Red Wings start back. Things are so loud we didn't even hear the whistle, nor did many of the players on the ice on that last offsides. Called on Larionov. Here comes Fedorov. Around Newman in, and the save is made by Hobby Bullen. Nikolai Hobby Bullen, outstanding once again. He was Winnipeg's best player the first 2 games of this series. Oleg Tverdovsky with just over 6 minutes to play. Ahead to Shannon, spins it up the boards, kept alive by McCarty. Shane Doan clears to center. Here's Doan sending down ice into the Red Wing zone. Doan into the corner for Shannon. Tverdovsky back in deep. Doan centers through the slot. Muni keeps it alive on the left point. Comes in front, and Eastwood's shot goes just wide. 5.5 to play. Here comes McCarty.
Oh, what a hit by Muni right at center ice. Woof. Woof.
Now McCarty goes back at Eastwood.
Offside call. You can't hear yourself think of this building. A rocking check by Craig Muni at center ice, and McCarty was having trouble with the puck and had his head down. Not the first time or the last. He'll get belted or give one. 5:14 to go on the clock. 2-1. Hobby Bullen leading the way. And he makes another sparkling save here on Fedorov. He darts down the middle, goes to the outside boom, and tries to go left side and didn't get it up high, and Hobby Bullen stoned him again. Moving right, trying to go back left. Hobby Bullen didn't buy it.
Hobby Bullen spent 4 years, Mickey, in the Russian First Division. It was a dream of his to play against players such as Fedorov, Larionov, Fetisov, and he's doing quite well here this afternoon and in this entire series.
He didn't buy it in rubles or Canadian dollars. Neither one, boy. He's been at the top of his game.
Now Johnson for the Red Wings. Johnson broken up by Olchik. Bergevin from the right point, and it trickles just wide. Now the Jets come back. 3-on-1, led by Olchik. Olchik scores!
Well, the Red Wings are pressing to tie the game with 4:35 left. They get caught with 3 men in, and when Rэмzi goes to hit on the wall, the Jets move 3-on-1, and Olchik blows it by Mike Vernon on the short side below the trapper. There's Tkachuk taken out. Rэмzi didn't know there was 4 of them, and Olchik used his teammates as a screen. That puck may have hit the defenseman and got by Bergevin. Let's see if we can tell from this angle. No, it did not. He cleanly beat the defenseman and Mike Vernon on the short side. Jets now by a pair with 4:35 left in the third period. Eddie Olchuk knows all about scoring goals, boy. He scored a ton of goals throughout his career. 12th year in the National Hockey League.
Eddie Olchuk matches his uniform number with career playoff goal number 16. Comes at 15:25 of this third period, assisted by Tkachak and Muni. So Craig Muni with his second assist.
I don't know if I've ever heard a building as deafening as this Winnipeg Arena.
First playoff game in Winnipeg since April of '93. They've only won 2 playoff series, and as Fedorov moves in offsides, both playoff series wins have come against Calgary. 3-1 Jets. Back in a moment. Kenny Albert, Mickey Redmond in Winnipeg. 3-1 Jets lead. 4:05 to go. Jets looking to cut Detroit's series lead to 2-1. 3-1 this afternoon. 2 goals in 3 minutes 45 seconds by Killger and Olchuk. Now Larionov for the Red Wings, back to Fedorov, and it's sticked out by Javi Bulin. 5-man Soviet unit on the ice once again for the Red Wings. Fetisov throws one wide. Igor Korolov shoots down ice. Icing is waved off. It's played by Fetisov. 3.5 to go. Now the steal by Muni. Coach Terry Simpson said yesterday Muni has really stepped up his game in the playoffs. A lot of playoff experience. This afternoon, 2 assists plus excellent defensive play as well.
He's a veteran, been down these roads before, and that's the kind of guy you look to show your youngsters how to do it under pressure.
Eastwood centers. Olchuk stopped by Vernon. Jets with 24 shots. They took only 30 in the first 2 games. Now the net knocked off its moorings as Coffey and Olchuk continue to jaw at one another behind the Red Wings goal. Jets only 30 shots combined in games 1 and 2, and they've scored on 2 of their 6 shots in the third period this afternoon.
They've created a lot more offense today, Ken, than they did in the first 2 games. The shots aren't an overabundance, even at 24, but it's a big, big improvement on what they were able to muster in Detroit in the first 2 games.
And we had a look at Chris Osgood, who may very well have started this afternoon, but as a precautionary measure, Scotty Bowman held him out, a minor abdominal strain, which bothered Osgood in practice yesterday. So Mike Vernon.
Vernon's played well today. He made some big stops in that second period off of Jamnov and early in the game off Tkachak.
Mike Vernon with loads of playoff experience as well. He won the Stanley Cup with Calgary in '89. This is 100th playoff game. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Hockey League. It is intended for the private use of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this telecast, including the imposition of a charge for viewing the telecast without the express written consent of the National Hockey League, is prohibited. Lidstrom back for the Red Wings. Around to McCarty, who clears out. Narodowski beats Yzerman to the puck. 2.5 to go. Bounces in on Vernon. Keith Primo from behind his own net with the Red Wings trailing the Jets 3-1.
Jets just going to try to jam it up now by 2-goal lead. They can afford to sit back and just line up across the red line.
Here comes Coffee. Primo. And once again, Hobby Bullen was there. 3-on-1 for the Jets. Koralev, Jamnov, Mэнson, score!
Well, the Red Wings are all 4 guys up trying to make it happen offensively to tie this game. And Coffey's up, only 1 man back. Jets execute perfectly. No chance for Konstantinov or Mike Vernon. Dave Mэнson gets lots on the wrist shot to put this one away with 1:57 to go. And Hobby Bullen again, boy, oh boy. Can't say enough about the work he's done. He stopped Primo there point blank. And away came the Jets to finish it off. Dallas Drake, after this play, limped off very, very slowly. He got hurt in a collision right around the hash marks.
How often do you see the spectacular save on one end lead to the rush and the goal on the other end? Fedorov, and that caught his helmet, his face mask.
That got him right in the top of the head, and I think Hobby Bullen saw that thing coming and just put his head down a little bit and let it hit the top of the mask.
And despite all the noise, we heard that ping up here in the broadcast booth.
This kid grew up in Russia watching Larianov and Fetisov. They were 2 idols of his. Look at the wrist shot right off the noggin and up into the stands. But Larianov and Fetisov were idols of Hobby Bullen, and he said as a kid, I often had dreams about wondering someday maybe I can play with or against those guys, and he's got his dream now.
4-1, Jets lead. Mэнson from Koralev and Jamnov at 18:03. Jets with 3 goals in a span of 6 minutes, 27 seconds. And Hobby Bullen may very well have a chance to play with the Fedorovs and the Fetisovs in the World Cup coming up in August and September. Hobby Bullen has been selected for the Soviet squad. King and Bergevin came together. Bergevin got the stick up. Play continues. Cicerelli right wing. Across now. Fedorov drives one wide. 1 minute remaining. So the Winnipeg Jets will assure at least a Game 5 in Detroit. The question remains, will there be another game in Winnipeg after Tuesday night's Game 4? Jets certainly giving their fans great memories this afternoon. These fans who have watched 16 seasons of NHL hockey. The World Hockey Association, Jets moving to Phoenix next year. But they will certainly remember this one against the top club in the National Hockey League with 62 regular season wins. Second consecutive President's Trophy. Jets with 3 goals here in the 3rd period. 10 seconds away from their first playoff win in 3 years. The fans count down the final seconds.
Look out as the buzzer goes. Tempers up. Eastwood, Muni, Draper, Airy. This one's over. And Nikolai Hobby Bullen just gets out of the area, standing over there all by himself watching all this stuff go on. What a game by the Winnipeg goaltender as the Jets give their fans something to live on before they move.
Kenny Albert for Mickey Redmond saying so long from Winnipeg Arena, where the Jets have defeated the Red Wings 4-1. The NHL is a presentation of Fox Sports.